and welcome to this special edition of our Technology Insights podcast, where we will be discussing all things marketing today. We are back with our regular technology consultant, Adrian Duffy. Hello, Adrian.
Hello.
And we are today especially joined by the head of marketing at Cavendish Professionals, Natasha Gordon-Douglas. Welcome.
Hi, Amy.
How are you both today?
Yep, good, thank you.
You'll probably notice we're also in a different location. We are currently in Manchester. We've been having lots of fun and filming a lot of content, which we'll be seeing soon. But anyway, back to the discussions. I want to know how marketing has evolved at Cavendish Professionals. So Adrian, maybe you could start.
Yeah, sure.
You've been at Cavendish Professionals for a long time, haven't you?
I have been at Cavendish Professionals for a long time, yeah. I suppose it's without the help of marketing in the earlier days, consultants like myself at the time would we probably be doing the marketing ourselves, not obviously in terms of content and stuff like that, but in terms of placing job ads, any introduction we had, any call we had with a client, any call we had with a candidate was effectively marketing our company and trying to get people to understand what we did and what we do, and how we can help candidates, but also how we can help our potential clients. So a lot of the legwork was being done by the consultants, and our tools were, LinkedIn Recruiter, some of the job boards we used, and the telephone. Yeah. That's generally how the marketing was done. Since marketing has taken a lot more of a presence within the company, and obviously with the uptake of social media, and the various different platforms now that people use to engage with different types of communities, so Facebook, Insta, Snapchat, things like that, etc. What I find it's done more, it's stopped us having to run so fast, or pedal so fast, as the expression may be, and it's allowed us to just focus on making sure that the way we represent ourselves when we're engaging with candidates and clients, is synced very, very nicely with the type of content and the marketing content that you guys produce on a day in, day out basis, and it does make my life a lot easier. Hate to say this, by the way, but it does make my life a lot easier.
What do you mean make your life easier, obviously?
Well, okay, so in terms of, obviously, when I'm approaching candidates, let's start with clients for a second. When I'm approaching prospective clients and trying to introduce them to our business and what we do, etc., I feel that the approaches are now a lot warmer than they used to be, because rather than say 4 or 5 years ago, 5-6 years ago, I'd be calling up and trying to talk to a potential client, a software development company or engineering consultancy, whatever it might be, try to talk to them about who we are, what we do, where we're based, how we can support them. Now we're finding more often that people have heard of us, so the name is really enough for them to really understand, who's calling now, and that makes a big difference.
Yeah, to be honest, obviously that's what marketing should do. It should make consultants' life easier. It should shorten that process of who we are, as you mentioned, what we do, where we are, the type of recruitment that we do. All of that should be taken care of before you get on that phone. Don't get me wrong, of course, you're going to have to speak about it if they haven't heard of you. But ultimately, we want to make sure that we're hitting our audience, the right audience, and whether that be on a candidate side or a client side, we need to make that discussion shorter and easier for you as consultants. That's what the marketing should do. It's about brand awareness. It's about showing people that we know what we're talking about, which hence then comes in the content marketing. I think even for myself, from starting marketing through to today, obviously everything has changed, and I used to do fax marketing, and my sons will even look at me and think, what is a fax machine? So
I was thinking in my head, what is a fax? But no, I do know what a fax machine is.
I had no idea that marketing was done by a fax.
Believe me, we used to send out marketing by faxes. Okay. But so now, like video, podcasts, social media, all of those tools. And I think people, you might think, okay, it's a business to business marketing, for instance. It's so different to business to consumer, but ultimately you have to think at the end of it is a person, and they're going to use those same tools as a business because they're part of that business. So you're just marketing to people. You just have to get them in there where they are. So if they're on social, great. If they're using even text messages, I'm sure, I don't know if both of you probably might even get text messages from certain companies that you might use. Yeah. So it's just using whatever tools it is to get to your end user, and that has evolved through because of technology, and I think it will continue to evolve. And even in some instances, it's gone backwards. So email marketing used to be fantastic, great. Then everybody just gets swamped with emails. Yeah. So you stop that, you try and look for other ways, but then now actually go back to emails because, again, people aren't using email marketing as much, so you're not getting, well, I say you're not getting, you probably are going to get spam still. Yeah. I say spam, that's not what I do.
But you can remove yourself from them, so if you not remove yourself from new things, then they'll come through, won't they?
Yeah, that's a big thing. Data protection, the whole GDPR it's a nightmare for marketers, to be honest, but ultimately it does make sure that communication is with the right user at the other end, so hopefully you get less, opt-out.
Yeah.
But yeah.
And then I suppose from the candidate perspective, again, going back sort of 5-6 years ago, it was constantly about reaching out to people, constantly reaching out to people via LinkedIn, via email. A lot of research went into sort of the headhunting side as well. There would be a time, and I think it would have been probably about 5 years ago, where if someone said to me, how do you find your candidates? I would have said, I just go find them myself. I didn't even really use job ads that much either. It was very much just a headhunting approach. And that's great in certainly, there's a lot of skills you learn from doing that, a lot of research skills that you pick up, and you do get to understand so much more about the industry and the type of market you're working in, because you are forced to go out and do that research, identify companies, do market mapping and stuff like that. So I wouldn't say that you those skills aren't needed anymore. They're very much still needed, but it's a very, very different story when you get someone good that you need for a particular role or a particular company that you're working with, and they're great. Yeah. It just takes away so much hassle when you have good people coming to you, and I think that's been one of the major helps of the content and the marketing that's been produced over the last few years at Cavendish as well. I am starting to see really good developers reach out to me and ask me if I've got opportunities, because they understand that through the marketing, through all the content that's being put out there, they understand that we're experts at what we do.
Yeah.
And I think that's and I haven't told them, I haven't found them. They've come to me and they've realised that we're experts because of what you do. Mm-hmm. And I think that's probably one of the biggest changes. And I hate to say it, but love these guys really.
One thing I've noted as well is, and you see it a lot in the press and everything about marketing, and that could be sometimes a company would go there first to sort of slash a bit of budget or something. But I think that COVID's shown that you actually do need to put money into your teams everything's online, isn't it? Digital, and you're seeing that everything's changing. I don't know, at Cavendish, that's something that we obviously push. We invest in our marketing team. So what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I think for any business, generally marketing is always seen as you're the spenders, you're going to get cut if there's any kind of recession, COVID instance. Luckily, I guess for us at Cavendish, we continued. I think it gave us in the marketing team also time to really do that market mapping, really find out who are the main hitters in the industry. And it obviously changed a lot as well, because some businesses just unfortunately fell away to the side. So we were able to use that time to really analyse, and also because obviously some companies continued as well. So we've got, as much as we're in technology, we're also in construction, and they were also one of the industries that continued. They were key workers. So companies are still needing to build flats. They were still needing to build the rail. It was great for us because we were, again, one of the recruitment companies that continued through that time. So we made a lot of new contacts. You have to be, very agile. You've got to be quick off the mark and using that time to create those new clients. And obviously you spoke about job boards before, but yes, sometimes, we put up job boards and we put up the posts, and it's not necessarily also just about that job, but it all feeds into the SEO of the brand, of someone searching, and yes, having a job description up actually helps. So of course we're not going to just go away with or do away with posting on job boards. They're still definitely relevant, but it's just being a bit smarter and what you actually say in job descriptions as well. But at the end of it, marketing, I think, shouldn't always be the one to look for to cut costs, because as much as we are spenders, you can be very creative in how much you're spending, even if it's a small amount. But there's also the time where we actually bring I say hidden value. Yeah. So the fact that you've got clients or even candidates that come to you, whereas before you would have had to search for them. Yeah. So having that value underneath is also, a huge pool, and you don't know, you can't necessarily categorize it, but it does definitely bring in some money for
sometimes it's not just directly in everyone's face.
I put this job board up, I put this job post up, and this is what I've got back. No, it's much more than that.
Yeah, and I think the best way to analyse that is like ROI, isn't it? The return of investment. I think.
Good marketing term there, Adrian.
There we go. Yeah, so there's a place for me in this this side of the business.
You can join the team if you want.
Definitely. But no, again, it's very much should always be seen as part of the backbone of any company. Yeah, along with human resources. Yeah, which is generally the backbone of most companies. I think. Yeah, very much so. That's all I have to add on that, really.
Perfect.